Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing, assembling, and kind of just doing a little product review on this Razor Dirt Quad 500. So stick around. All right guys, so I actually bought this a few months ago, and it's been sitting in my garage in its box because I'm going to be giving it to my kids for Christmas, and it conveniently does not really come marked at all. So it's actually sat here with nothing over top of it for a couple months now. And I guess I bought it at a really good time because I got on Amazon. That's where I purchased it off of. And I jumped back on there probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't find it anywhere listed. And then I went to Razor's website and they show it, but it basically looks like it's been discontinued. So I guess I purchased it at a good time, but there might be more of these that are going to be out there, or maybe they just sold out around Christmas time and they're going to restock. I don't really know. But I'm happy that I got this one when I did. At least I think I am. So I'm going to get this thing unboxed and get it opened up, see how much assembly is going to be there, what tools are going to be needed to assemble it, and just kind of do a little evaluation of how it's built and some key things that I would look out for, that I'll be looking out for while my kids ride it. So,
hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head.
All right guys, so this is with it unboxed. Well, I guess not unboxed, but the lid's opened on it. Already pretty excited. Doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of assembly, guys. I really wasn't too worried about how much assembly's there, but it's also nice to be able to open this up and pretty much have it be ready to go out of the box. That's pretty awesome. So pulling these side pieces of cardboard out. Yeah, I'm really excited about the size of it. I've got 3 boys. They're all different ages, and kind of getting them into power sports a little bit, and this is a really cost-effective way to do that, to see if they're really going to want to continue with it or if it's just not really their thing, which is okay. But it's a really affordable way to do this, and I like the electric option purely because as long as you keep it charged, as soon as that button's on, it's ready to go and ride. Maintaining like a gas 4-wheeler or a gas dirt bike, you got to make sure you have good fuel. You got to keep up with the preventative maintenance, and I travel a lot for work, so this is something that my kids can make sure stays charged. They can keep it clean. They can, really kind of make it their baby, give them some ownership, but it's ready to go for them without me being here. It doesn't put an extra burden on my wife, so they make sure it's charged, and then when they want to ride it, they get their helmets on, they come out, and then they can send it. So that is why, at least for right now, the electric really is the best situation for us. And not to mention, I live in a subdivision, so ripping it around, is a lot quieter as an electric unit than a gas unit. So don't really want to deal with angry neighbors. So let's get it the rest of the way unboxed.
I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything.
All right guys, so this is it, completely unboxed. All of the wrapping, or I should say most of the wrapping, taken off. Overall, super easy. There are 4 bolts here and here that will have to be loosened so that the handlebars can be stood up and put in the right position. There is a warning here. Just says make sure you charge the battery at least 12 hours before its first use, and then do not store the battery in a place that's going to be less than 32 degrees for any length of time. So don't want the batteries to freeze and then thaw and then freeze and then thaw. It's really not good for them, and you're probably going to have a lot shorter lifespan if they don't just entirely go bad. So might be kind of harder to do depending on where you live. I don't think that this battery is actually able to be taken out like a Power Wheels. I think this is actually kind of hard mounted inside, and then you plug it into a charging port. So really you want to keep it someplace that's going to be warmer if you can, if you're in an area that gets cold for a long period of time. So, or just kind of, something to keep in mind. If you want to get this and for several months out of the year, your garage is below freezing, maybe this isn't the right machine, or maybe you want to put a heater in there for the winter months. So Alrighty, let's get these bolts loosened up. We'll get it stood up, get this plastic little wrapper here taken off completely, and then yeah, we'll get it set up to be able to be ridden. So let's do this.
They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think.
All right, guys. So got the handlebars all put on. Honestly, it's very, very easy to assemble. These four 6mm. Just pulled them all the way out. That way, I could get the cellophane wrap off them and then put it all right back down and tighten them down. Did not see a torque spec in the manual, so obviously just use your good judgment and snug it down. I don't want these coming loose, so I'm actually probably going to back these out and put some blue Loctite on them. If you're not familiar with like blue versus red versus green Loctites, you can do some research on them, but basically the way I like to consider it is blue is you want it to come back out at some point. Red, the chances are if you're going to pull them out, you're going to use like an air impact. Green is you don't ever want to see that bolt come out, even if there's an act of God. So use a little bit of blue, and that'll keep these from backing loose. You can also use like a little bit of gasket maker, which is just like a rubberized sealant when it dries. That'll keep it from vibrating loose if you don't have any of the Loctite. But overall, super easy to set up. Really, it really doesn't take much. So if you don't have a lot of tools, you don't have a lot of mechanical background, that's okay. You could easily do this. It provides you, in the kit, it provides you with that 6mm Allen head. So you can use that, or if you have your own tools, you can also do that too. Charging plug is really cool. If you ever had a real four-wheeler, you know this would untwist and that'd be your fuel cap, but it just slides to the side. That's your charging plug, which is super legit. Your on-off switch is here. There is no forward or reverse toggle. It is forward. So if you want reverse, you're getting off and pushing it, which a lot of sport four-wheelers are like that. Has a twist throttle, which is a little different than most four-wheelers. Most four-wheelers have like a thumb toggle, but that's okay. Still pretty cool, and honestly, I think some of my boys are going to want to get into dirt bikes anyway, and it's good practice for them. So throttle twist gives a battery level here, which is pretty cool, whether it's full or low. And then it does have a rear disc brake here. And what's cool is if you have this throttle pegged, or you have the throttle adjusted at all with your hand, and you squeeze your brake, it is actually going to override the throttle and engage the brakes. So if you have a young rider, not experienced, obviously, there is the potential for them to like try to throttle through their brake by accident, almost like panicking. And this toy prevents that, which I think is a really, really nice feature. When you come to the very back of the four-wheeler, there is a shock absorber up under there. One thing that I did notice is that shock is pretty stiff. I think even if there were to be a kid sitting in it, that spring might be just a little bit too strong. So I might look and see if I can get a different style spring, one that will rebound and absorb a little bit easier, so it has a little bit lower rating. But apart from that, I didn't really see anything else that stood out. Both tires do spin, so if you lift up on this rear handle and gun the throttle, both tires are being driven. It's not just one tire, which I think is pretty cool. There's your disc brake there, and then your electric motor here does have a cover over it, to keep those rotating components, keep fingers and stuff away from them. There is a really good manual that comes along with it, guys, that honestly, stand this guy up. Cool. So there's a really good manual that comes along with it, guys. It has so much information in it, and I really commend Razor for building their stuff the way they do. They give you all kinds of procedures for maintenance, right? Maintaining the chain, which will be here. Maintaining the tension here is going to be really key. Maintaining your brake and adjusting that as that cable stretches and wears in. It's just a part of owning something like this. Would recommend, guys, before you go out and rip this around, just go through and make sure all your hardware is tight, and then that'll be something that I do periodically as the kids are riding it. Make sure these tie rods are tight, not bent. And what the cool part is, it's adjustable, so you can actually do an alignment on this, which I will probably do as well. You can just measure the back side, measure the front side, make sure the distance, both sides are equal, and then there's your alignment. Simple as that. This is your battery tray here. So they are spring loaded. Try to get my hands down so you can see. Spring loaded. So you can go like so, and then there's your battery. There's really not much you're going to do in there. One thing that is important is there's a fuse in here, in this little housing here. So if you guys end up having an issue and you can't get it to power on, and you're not sure why, that would be a really good thing to check and see if that fuse popped. If these batteries get too hot, maybe the charger got too hot, something electrical system got too hot, it could cause an overamperage and open that fuse. So apart from that, I mean, all the welds look really good. All the brackets, everything looks like this is really well made. Just moving this thing around is just really stout. I'm pretty impressed. The fender flares, the body flares, all of the body on it, it seems to be really good, good quality plastics. I don't feel like they skimped anywhere. Seat's pretty comfortable. So my kids are going to lose their mind when they see this, honestly, because they don't know this is coming. And they've all been kind of asking for something to ride around a little bit more than just bikes. And I know when I was their age, this was definitely something that I wanted. So air-filled tires, guys. I don't know what the air pressure is supposed to be on these, but the cool thing is these are serviceable, so you guys could let some of the air out a little bit if you wanted it to be a little bit better ride. I'm going to look and see what that spec is for them, but they're also replaceable. So as these tires wear, you can get new ones from Razor, or you could potentially find some elsewhere like Tractor Supply or someplace that's, offers four-wheeler tires for stuff this size. You obviously just want to make sure that the hub style is the same, so it bolts up. Would definitely recommend checking the tightness on all of those before you ride it for the first time, just to make sure that everything is good. But apart from that, I'm pretty excited. It does say to make sure that you charge this for 12 hours out of the box, and 24 is ideal. So if you can let it charge for a whole day, and there's a lot of really good stuff in the manual. That's where actually I read that. So definitely recommend holding on to that manual. It's got a lot of really good information in it, and it also gives you a lot of procedures for upkeep and maintenance as you own this four-wheeler. All right, so one thing I am going to try to go over is, I guess, probably best charging practices. So for these battery chargers, a lot of them are smart style chargers, so as soon as it gets full, the charger is going to kick off, and that way it doesn't overcharge the battery, and it's also going to maintain the proper voltage it's supposed to be at. When you connect the charger to your outlet, I really recommend not using the extension cord. So I know it's not always convenient, depending on if you have shelving and stuff like that in your garage or wherever you're deciding to plug these things in at, but it's really important that you plug them directly in. So when you put really any length of extension cord in there, it's going to have to work that much harder to be able to charge those batteries, which puts additional stress on your battery charger and your battery system. So just longevity, right? If you can help it, plug it straight into the wall, and you'll get faster charger times, for one, because you're getting power directly from the source rather than having it feed through an extension cord. Especially if you have a 100-foot extension cord, it could take much longer, and it could actually end up burning up your battery charger quickly, because it's under so much stress and it's not really meant for that. So really recommend plugging it straight into the wall. I did not see a battery charge indicator light showing that it is charging on the unit itself, but in the middle over here, and I'll show you, right there you can see that little red light. So that's indicating that it is charging. And then when that switches to green, it's going to indicate that it's fully charged. And in the manual that comes with the unit, it says to make sure that it's charged at least 12 hours, 24 preferably if you can. So I'm gonna let them sit overnight and charge. Tomorrow morning I'll be able to disconnect them and they should be ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, other than that, I think we've kind of covered everything. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that this you're able to find one of these products if you don't already have one, and go out and have some fun with it. Leave a comment below if this was helpful for you guys, or if you want me to maybe cover something else, a different product. And then, you know, click like, click subscribe, click that little bell. I'll be making more videos, either working on my truck or just some other products that we get for the kids and around the house and stuff that I think are pretty cool and useful. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate you. Take care. All right, everybody, it is after Christmas. We have put about 10 hours on the four-wheeler. The boys were absolutely crazy when they came out Christmas morning and saw the four-wheeler sitting in the garage, which is awesome. So took it out Christmas Day and rode it for probably at least 2 hours straight. My three boys and our neighbor's kids, it was just like taking turns the whole time, and it didn't miss a beat. So really happy with how long the battery lasts. It performed exactly the way I think it should. One thing that I think I'm going to end up doing, and if you end up getting a four like this, you guys might want to do the same thing, is it does sit pretty tall. So looking at the front of it, pardon the mess of the garage, kind of sorting through things, but when you look at it, tires are pretty narrow and it does sit pretty tall. It has good ground clearance, which is awesome, but it also gets a little top heavy and a little squirrely. So good buddy of mine, I was talking to him about it, and he knows a lot about four-wheelers and has had a lot of experience with these things, and suggested that I flip the wheel around. So the offset of the wheel is quite a bit different. If I take them and flip them, it'll give it probably at least an inch on each side of clearance or distance, which I think will help make it a little more stable. The convenient part is the tread is not directional, so it really isn't like frontwards and backwards from what I can tell. It's not going to wear the tire out crazy or anything like that, but it should give it a bigger footprint and probably help the four-wheeler be a little bit more stable. So boys have taken some sharp turns and got it up on two wheels, which partially they could slow down a little bit, but this could help kind of keep it planted a little bit better. So they're learning, and so am I. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and yeah, hopefully that solves that issue. But hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. And yeah, comment down below if you guys have any questions. Other than that, I appreciate you. Take care.